Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 83, and today we will be jumping into another gauntlet. And so, this is a big and special gauntlet. I was kind of hoping the timing on this would work out, and it did. And so I noticed at the end of the Pulsefire event, you could catch access to this action skin. And so I wanted to come out here and play with all of these skins today. And so we have paid the pay-to-win price on this run. We're running fully skinned. We're going fully Pulsefire, and today we will be battling with the Pulsefire Akshan, the Pulsefire Aphelios, and we will be using the Pulsefire Caitlyn. And so that is the Gauntlet lineup we'll be bringing. The Akshan Sivir, the Aphelios Fizz, and the Ezreal Caitlyn, and it should be fine enough. The thing with this lineup, it's of course not constructed in all seriousness, but we do at least need to try and attempt to win some matches with this thing, and so we can't completely count on paying to win to carry us that far. And so at least in terms of these decks and in these matchups, the decks we don't really want to play against Lissandra Talia. That's going to be our top ban. Our matchups across the board are fairly bad against sea monsters, and then they're also fairly bad against Pantheon. Outside of that, the world is our oyster. We could probably figure out and handle anything that's thrown at us, but those are the big ones to watch out for. And, as we saw with our previous one, or with our previous Gauntlet, I should say, and as we've seen in the past, everything is just so wide open in Gauntlet anyways, there's no real playing against it. Now, I do make, wild claims like that, but, it's so awkward and odd. It's I very remember trying to play a Beat the Sun Disc lineup. We never played it. In our previous one, we tried to play a Ban Pantheon lineup, never saw him. We were hoping to avoid the various Annie-based Disintegrate decks, played them in every single matchup, even though Annie is such a small portion of the meta. And it's just okay, so much for trying. And so I think we'll be okay here. All of these decks are reasonably powerful enough on their own, but as I make disclaimers like this, I'm sure we'll completely run into Thralls and into Maokais all day long. And so, at any rate, with these various deck lists, some of the kind of things going on within them, we're not playing any Challenger birds in our Akshan Sivir, and we're playing 2 copies of Vicar and Bruiser. And so it's more of a mid-rangey style package. We aren't seeing the likes of a bunch of pirates and scouts and things to where I want the early game package. So I think that's completely okay. And then we're playing 2 copies of Golden Aegis instead of 3, along with 2 copies of Rite of Negation, which is very good against the various Annie and the various Ezreal decks running around. Get to cancel off that entire board, or use it to kind of safely get our Sivers in at the end of the game. So 2 Rite of Negations there. Aphelios Fizz, this is the exact same list that we did in our previous Gauntlet video. The only kind of oddities here, we're playing 2 copies of the Winding Light. I think this is a fantastic alternate win angle for this style of deck. We're, of course, trying to win with the Fairies package. We might fall back a little bit onto the Aphelios package, but I do like having this option to where we've got this full board and we need to make some magic happen. And he can come in and just close out a game. Very powerful bro. And then the last one, it's a fairly stock list of Ezreal Caitlyn. The only kind of oddity here is the single copy of Thorn of the Rose. Otherwise, these numbers are pretty straightforward. And so, with that being that, let's jump on into battle. We paid the pay-to-win price. I feel like I shouldn't have to pay it for like a week, but I mean, we got all this going in here, right? Where you at, Akshan? We got... Oh, how did I even do it? You got to do it this way, right? Somewhere out here. We got our Pulsefire Akshan skin ready to go. Where you at out here, Aphelios? Check this out. Where's the button at? Here it is. Boom. Pulsefire Aphelios equipped. And the last one, look at this. It was a little unfortunate having to come out here and pick up the Caitlyn, since we did already have the gilded Caitlyn, which is pretty cool. I dug the skin, so I bought it. But we've got 2 now, ready to go. And so, with that being that, I didn't want to make you have to sit through me buying all the skins and resetting all of our lineup to just show you that we paid the pay-to-win price. I assure you it's been paid. Don't worry, we'll be paying to win out here. Look at this. The Blue Man Group, the Fish Dragon, and the upgraded laser beams. I am ready for it. Okay, alrighty. And so with this lineup, I'm okay playing against the Sundisk. That's always kind of like the first one that I like to evaluate. The matchups there are pretty polarized. And so the matchup against Ezreal Caitlyn and the Sundisk is not good, but the Aphelios Fizz and the Akshan Sivir deck are both reasonably powerful matchups. And so I think I'm okay with leaving the Sundisk, but it's a potential ban. The next options in here are going to be the Jace Lux. That's a fairly mid-rangey, board-heavy style deck. I'm not really excited about playing against it. But I think Aphelios Fizz manages it pretty well, and then the Ezreal Caitlyn I think is one of the weaker matchups. This is the one I'm actually looking towards banning. And I think we're okay to play against the Harrowing Anivia. I assume that's what they're doing, trying to get multiple Anivias on the board. I think our decks are just high-powered enough to deal with that, and we aren't playing a bunch of decks that just get domed by the Shadow Isles removal packages. And so it is somewhat strong if he's playing. Maybe he is playing a bunch of AoEs. I guess maybe we can take the AoEs out of the equation. I'm curious what this guy's ban actually is, because if he just wants to say, like, ban Ezreal Caitlyn. Okay. I was going to say, because our Akshan Sivir and our Aphelios Fizz decks are kind of similar in some of their play patterns, in that they can have a real board flooding style strategy, and I feel like this Anivia deck's probably got a bunch of AoE removal that I don't really want to deal with. So, all right, safe enough. And then we'll start off with the Akshan Sivir. I feel like the Akshan Sivir is the weakest of our two decks. So if I have to play a deck twice, I want it to be Akshan Sivir. All right, not the greatest of starts. We'll hang on to the Merciless Hunter, try to find a little bit more interactivity to go along with it. Excellent, we found Akshan. What up, bro? Check out these skins. Look at that. God, he looks so happy in his skins. Good stuff, Akshan. We're very proud of you. We're about to get this amped up Warlord's Palace on the board. Look at that. It's all hex techy and stuff. Very nice. Very nice. Way to do it, Akshan. All right, but reasonable enough start. Hopefully, Akshan doesn't just get popped by Mystic Shot on this turn, but he's definitely not now. But I think at least getting the Warlord's Palace on the board and trading for mana is worth it. Like, we're just never not playing Akshan here. Like, even with this fancier hitting the board, our curve still works out nicely. Like, say we go into next turn, we put the Merciless Hunter onto the Pharaoh's Fancier with the intent to get a quick attack challenge, and then he has the Mystic Shot onto Akshan. We still have the Fearsome Merciless Hunter ready to get a fearsome attack in. Taking it. You got me fancied, bruh. Look at him shaking in his boots. It is interesting pickup in the sharp side now that we can protect our Akshan. I think I do kind of like playing around his burn cards. See where this gets us. We'll make the trade onto the Fancier. I think that's okay. More interested in just keeping this board empty. We don't have, like, we do have the Golden Aegis, but we don't have any of, like, the big board winners, if you will, like dropping Sivirs. But depending on what opponent does, we can flip Akshan next turn. He's got Jace. Okay. We could take the 4-hit. It's not that big of a deal. All right, now we have more options, right? If we want to say Brightsteel Protector, the Merciless Hunter, and get the free attack onto Jace, feels pretty good. I like it when things feel good. I don't know how you all feel about that, but I certainly like it. All right, and now we have a quicksand onto Lux, take her down to 0 attack, and it also eats out her barrier. do we want to do with the Relic? Do we ever want to give our units the bonus attack this turn? Like, I wonder if we can just get them, right? If we say Relic of Power for +1 attack, hook Jace with Akshan, just still hit with everyone else, and then see if he puts a block onto Merciless Hunter just for like the damage prevent, and then we get the kill onto Lux with the Quicksand. I think I really like this. So it's a little greedy not going for the predict draw, but I think I'm on board with this. And then if he puts Lux in front of something else, we can just bank up the mana. That's completely fine. Like, nugging for 9 if he blocks a 4/3 is pretty good. We can come back at him with the Golden Aegis next turn, and maybe even do the Golden Aegis plus Rite of Negation. What you got? Oh, no. No, thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate the effort, but we're not we're not handling that today. Alright, cool. So we can like Golden Aegis plus Sharpsight next turn. If he wants to say play an assembly line, then we can also just take him down that way. But with his Lux removed from the single combat, I think this guy's really going to struggle here. Like, if he taps out for assembly line, I think we just kind of win the game anyways. We beat a single combat here as well. Okay. Sure. Let's get him, Renekton. Who says that? That's a Merciless Hunter voice line, right? We'll get our licks in. Oh, sad face. Cupcake it. Move this deck tracker over a little bit so we get better access to our emotes. I upgraded one of our emotes as well. I forget which one it was. I always kind of struggled with what our 6th emote should be. I like to use Cupcake, both of the echoes. It's like Ari blowing kisses, and then Laser Beam Cat. But it's that 6th one that was always trouble. We can drop it here in a second. Ooh, this hand sucks. I'll hang on to Fizz. I like having Fizz against the Sun Disk since you can start attacking early and quickly. But otherwise, we need to be finding the Gleaming Lantern, which we drew it because we're good at this game. Alright, the Fizz plan is canceled. This is kind of the awkward thing with starting with Fizz, is if you say want to play Fizz on 1 and then Grandfather Fae on turn 2, or anything on turn 2, then you can't Face Sprout and look for the Gleaming Lantern, which is a bit awkward in sequencing, and so just picking up the Lantern is quite nice. Alright, he's got the full board here. We're going to have to just, like, drop something. I'm not amped about losing a Gleaming Lantern this turn. But we don't have too many other options. Let's play the Face Sprout, see what turns up. We can just drop a Telescope. I think that'll be okay here. The downside to the Telescope is it does just die to the... Let's just take picks, actually. I was going to say the Telescope just comes down and dies to the Rockhopper. We'll block the Sand Soldier with the Fae. Now we have the opportunity for a bigger turn next turn. Don't have any spells to play, and so I do want to go ahead and drop the Owlcat. Then hopefully we can just chain into another fairy. Nope, not happening. This here is one of the exact reasons why I like the inclusion of the Winding Light. We just don't have great attacks here, right? I don't want him getting the landmark on board from the Endless Devout. We just get nugged way too hard if he has the landmark destruction for it. And so being able to come in on turn 6 if we actually have the Nightfall card, or turn 7 if we don't. It's quite powerful. All right, he's got it all here today. A little worrisome. Do we ever actually want to take the Tellstones? How much does Paddlestar cost? 3? I think I'm on board with this. What are his champions at? 9 on Azir, 1 on Xerath. It's like I'm just curious if we ever get him with the Trixie Tentacles. Like his cheap cards should be off the table now. But I think that we might get a decent Tellstones. If nothing else, it works nicely as a burst spell for Fizz and for Aphelios here. Coming in greedy. All right, the big decisions are being made. What do we do here? Who do we attack with? Okay. Where is double stun? That's what I want to be double stunning this Endless Devout on the next turn. Just get it dealt with, and then we start to have pretty good attacks. Can still... I don't think we have the mana to Blessing of Targon. I mean, we can. But we'd be 1 short if we want to do everything, right? We have 5 for the Blessing, 1 for the Tellstones, and then we would need 2 for Gravitum. Interesting. Just wants the summon. I would describe that as little greedy. Okay. It is nice to kind of chip away some of this Azir damage, given that we are looking to get our win through the Winding Light. I mean, is the way that we realistically do this, we just play Fizz, and then we put the +3/+3 onto Fizz, and then we try to win with Winding Light and next attack? I think that's the stuff. I think that's where we're going with this. The weakness to this style of play is if he has a Quicksand, right? Quicksand works pretty nicely here. The other option we could look to using here is to double stun his Endless Devout, and then try and make a Playful Trickster play. He went Mana Crystal on this. We have options here, right? We can protect Aphelios with the thing, for lack of an easier term, whatever this is called, the Tellstones, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of Aphelios usage out of this game. Yeah, this is such like a rough spot though. Like I don't think we want to do anything here. Like we're preventing him from like summoning with the Waking Sands, from putting like the double landmark thing onto the board. The question this will come down to is, are we able to do the full 20 on his next turn? I think I want to just like go ahead and Tellstones now. Where are you at? Drop it onto Fizz, and then we're just gonna pass. I don't want to just like sit around with this mountain of mana. Okay. Trinket Trade was a good addition. It gives us a cheap way on our next turn to get the Fizz going and get the Winding Light going. So here, I'm okay to lose a unit. That's not a big deal. Like, Conchologist block is okay. Getting a damage prevent down here is fine. Taking 5 seems pretty safe. Where's he at? 2 landmarks and 1 summon away. So we'd just be losing 1 unit, and then next turn we can refill that unit with the Winding Light. Okay. I'm on board. And then even if he has like some people play shaped stone, if he has a shaped stone, we can still get around that. Not that big of a deal. The thing I'm now curious about is going into next turn, we'll have 8 mana. Like, if we bank up 3, don't plan on playing Trinket Trade, then next turn we can actually get the rally off of this Fizz card in our hand. And so if we save this Owlcat for next turn, and then say overwrite the Grandfather Fae, with the Winding Light, then we'll have the mana to play a Playful Trickster if we want to. I think I'm pretty cool with that. We can do it better with the Dustbringer, though, right? Or is that's too expensive? We need the full 7+4 mana. So let's add the Owlcat. All right, I think we're decent here. It's not like completely annihilated by a Quicksand. We're going for damage, so I'm going to overwrite the Grandfather Fae. Right, and now we have this Playful Trickster to get a second attack in. That's the stuff, right? That's the stuff. Did we, You don't have space on your board for that, my dude. Sucks, doesn't it? Sucks to suck. You gonna overwrite that Sun Disk with something? All right, here comes the squad. So I'm fully expecting a Quicksand to come out of this, right? But we have the Playful Trickster to hopefully finish things off.
I will unmake you. You are nothing. I will unmake you.
Let's get the Trickster down here for our big boys. Is that what we're about to run into? Or the Trickster. We play the Trickster. He's got the Quicksand is what we're going to see come down. And what happens with Fizz if we play another spell? I haven't had this happen before to where we drop an additional Fizz or play a spell after the Quicksand so that we then get to get Elusive. I think the Quicksand is like done at this point. I think Quicksand it's not like a static or persistent effect. And so I think this play works.
Faithless creature. Sedition.
Okay, so we can get one more blocker on the turn. Definitely want to take down his champions here. Don't want Xerath coming back. And he needs to summon the unit now. Right. He's got... if his Azir goes away, then he'll flip back up. I guess he could just replay Azir, but... if he wanted the Sand Soldier, he would have needed to have done it right now. Cool. We did it. We did it, team. Pulsefire's coming right through, bringing you to action. I told you that Winding Dragon's pretty good. We ran into games like that in the previous Gauntlet as well, as to where you have this like big board, but you don't have any of the combos, right? You don't have an Aphelios going, you don't have a Papercraft Dragon or anything, and so it's nice to have that work out like that. Okay, so collection of bros here. The one that like immediately strikes me as like worrisome is always just Viego. I'm not sure what this guy's Viego's doing, but the like mono Viego out of Sherimo is one of the powerful ways to beat Aphelios Fizz in the previous season, and so like I think we're gonna kind of like run into the same thing here. He is playing kind of like the combo lineup with Nami, which I'm not really excited about, but the Sentinels are also like decently strong against both Afaelios and Akshan Sivir. And so it's like, I think I'm like okay with this. What should be spell heavy, vengeancey style, control-y deck coming from Viego Lux, and then just look to ban the Sentinels, the Jace deck, and then whatever this combo deck is with Nami, we could hopefully just beat it twice if it comes down to that. Takes out Akshan Sivir. Interesting. All right. Well, I think it's tough, right? It depends on who's going to show up here. We would want to run the Caitlyn deck against the combo deck. But I think this is the one that we'll want to play twice in case things go wrong. Like, I don't really want to be running the Ezreal Caitlyn up against the Sentinels deck, or the whatchamacallit deck, the Viego deck. They tend to have a much better late game than we do. All right, and then I kept the Thermogenic Beam. If he blows his wad here on an early Nami, I want to be able to take her down, and so. Okay. I don't think this is worth a Mystic Shot. I don't remember this deck playing things like Flame Chomper. I mean, you can't get the Flame Chompers loaded up with the Nami, but all right, we'll just take it. Like, we need something to do next turn, and so let's just play the Station Archivist and see if we get a spell that way. Well, if we draw Ezreal, it's a little different. Shouldn't be too many removal options. I mean, this deck could be playing Get Excited, but I don't think they're going to have a ton of ways to actually take Ezreal down here. Okay. He's done a kind of odd, like, mana bank path as well. I guess that's what happens when you drop a Boom Baboon, but... I think we're okay. I mean, this deck is like so focused and so important on hitting the Nami, and then just having the removal spell for it's such a big deal. They don't function that well without her. Okay.
Dead in their tracks.
Good use of the manas this turn. Go ahead and blow it up. Get our 3 bank, move on to the next one. What you got for us, game? All right, it's a Mystic Shot.
I think we have something on that case. Just as I suspected. It doesn't add up.
Okay. Curious what he would be looking for out of his Archivist. He had a stress testing in there. All right, reasonable enough spot to be in. He definitely has a lot more cards than us, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Not super interested in any of these. The Mystic Shot's the safe take. We're kind of looking to... curious at what point he just like drops a bunch of Poros and we might get a big Static Shock, but... it's like that time is right now. The dangerous thing with this is it does let him potentially spew off a Nami, but that does look like what he wants to be doing here. But he doesn't have... He's going to have Nami plus another unit and then spells to start doing. And he doesn't quite have the tools to get all that going here, or the mana to get all that going.
Never lost a fair game.
What up, Steve? Go ahead and get you out of here. Tobias. That's what his name was. Someone told me it was Tobias. I went and looked it up on the wiki as well. That's apparently his name. Oh. Oh, Tobias Fate. Middle name Twisted. Sure. No, thank you. We're not letting him keep Shelly. I don't want to beam though. We don't have a great removal angle for this. Guess we can drop a beam. It's like we have to keep an answer to Nami is the big thing coming out of these turns. Ezreal's ready to party though. Except for Progress Day, I was like, that is huge. A big boost to the cards in hand. Can't imagine they have a great answer to Ezreal here, though. All right, and then how hard do we get to go for this next turn? Like, I think we can safely play cards, right? I think we're good to drop the sentries down. We need to get a big punch in here. We're too far out from getting the good Ezreal kills, and so I think we need to be just going for these. So it's he can play a unit, we can stun it, and then attack with everything. And then even if he has an answer to Ezreal, we still have actual damage coming in. Kind of a scary spot to be here. But again, I don't think their removal is going to line up with us well. Okay, so it looks like he's ready. He's going to try and drop another Daring Poro, which is fine. I can come down and block Ezreal, but then we should be chunking in for 9. Has he played Mystic Shots yet? He hasn't. I assume this deck plays Mystic Shot. Bring and make it rains. Interesting. Okay. It was good enough. Good enough. That was a little scary. I didn't like how that one felt. Ezreal is victorious. GG, my dude. It's definitely not a deck that's really in my comfort zone. It's I never want to play it. I don't think that deck is super fun to play. But if you're wanting to be seriously competitive, you kind of have to play a little bit of games with it, just to kind of get the feel for what your opponent's trying to do. Now with the starts like this, it's I really want to be finding a Gleaming Lantern here. I don't think our deck plays well into being here's a Dustbringer, here's a Librarian. This isn't the stuff we really want. We want to find the Gleaming Lantern, or we want to find a Face Sprout to look for a Gleaming Lantern. Great start. So now we can drop the Lantern, we can drop the Assistant Librarian. We'll have the mana for Pale Cascade should we need it, and then we can just start to cheat. Nothing better than just cheating. Say, give me that bonus 2 mana every turn, please. Flash of Brilliance. Is he looking for I was gonna say, is he look? He had the assembly. No Flash of Brilliance. Wow, the Flash of Brilliance just randomed into it. All right, dude. That's one way to do it. All right, with that, Flash of Brilliance is random, isn't it? Yeah, create a random 6-cost spell. It just randomly makes assembly line. Not bad. Not bad. I think we just have to take this. The new question we have is, I'm going to go for the Assistant Librarian, but Is this, like, enough? Like, I want to Rainbow Fish the Librarian and get this going. Just gets a pretty big shutdown if he starts to drop the Poro cannons.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Not bad.
Dead in their tracks.
But at least he feels like fairly far away from doing stuff with the what's her name? Like the Nami plan. I feel like we're okay if he's just out here doing this dumb stuff. Feyfolk is kind of interesting. I was really hoping that we would hit an attach. We don't need any more librarians. The Feyfolk is fine. But we can do, like, essentially everything the Feyfolk does, we can just do with the Aphelios. Kind of leaning towards just taking this big unit, but it's probably the safer choice. Oh, give me some more of those knowledges. Here's a rainbow fish. It's like I feel pretty safe just taking damage now. Right? If we're gonna, like, Feyfolk plus Rainbow Fish, he can have, like, decent answers to it, but it seems like a Grandfather Fey block isn't advisable. Okay. Still gonna pick up a lifesteal. If he has some kind of answer to us next turn, I want to be able to deposit a lifesteal on something that isn't the Feyfolk.
I taste purple. Yay.
Okay. Reasonable enough now. He's already got Steve on board, so he shouldn't be able to get any more stuns. And so now hopefully we can just heal back up to max. I'm not sure what else they would be playing that interacts with this Feyfolk. Do we want to play any of these other cards?
Into the forest.
Okay. I feel much safer now.
The same calling card from our other case.
Moonboy laser version's ready to go. What do we get out of the Tellstones? Bonus attacks, destroy a landmark, or create cards, don't care. Keeper's Verdict, don't really care. I think we just want the Guiding Touch here. Some cheap cycle.
Life beneath the waves.
So the new question is, do we really want to, like, start pushing up to Aphelios? Like, his board does not interact well with Aphelios. It looks like he's trying to just do some kind of weird get some width thing. Maybe we just play the Dustbringer here and wait a little bit on Severum and try and play it next turn.
We were peaceful
Okay.
once.
And we do have, like, the Hungry Owlcat in hand, right? So we can always try to Owlcat plus Rainbow Fish plus a bunch of Aphelios weapons to just punch through with a big spell shielded unit, which is where I think our end game is going to be. Can you hit? You can hit double stun. Shelly is worrisome, right? He can boost his board. There's not really anything we can do about it right now. But we can double stun as elusive, which should take us pretty far. I think the actual most, like, other than Shelly growing his board, which I don't think is that big of a deal, the next worrisome thing is he does have this, oh, he's got this Twisted Fate. I guess I guess we're supposed to answer at some point. But he's only got 1 mana now. Can answer Burblefish. Yeah, we need our Aphelios weapon. Let's go ahead and pop it. Shelly, yeah, Shelly's too far out to stop this. The downside to this now is we don't have the mana to get our Owlcat going before he starts doing a bunch of Twisted Fate stuff. I guess he can have ways to protect the Burblefish. Okay.
All that glitters.
All right, he's gonna get. Oh, that was the red card was his last Twisted Fate. So I guess the thing that's a problem for us now is he's gonna be able to gold card the Tasty Feyfolk next turn. But I think we can just attack around that. I think. It's so the we did just pick up the Winding Light. Maybe that's our way out. His units are going to be so huge now, though. I don't feel super comfortable being on this like Winding Light plan, but I think it's okay to just come at him with the Feyfolk. I think that's where we're at. Alright, so it doesn't feel great, but hopefully he's fairly far behind in stuff he can do. Right, he was down to basically like 1 card there for a minute. Make it rain red card.
I'm a people person.
Does that kill anything? I don't think it did. Now he gets to pick up gold card with his next play. I don't know, seems good. Gold card hits our Tasty Feyfolk.
Come on then. Boy, now. Come on then.
It doesn't add up.
Easy.
So we're short on lethal.
I'm sure.
An unfortunality. Unfortunality.
What's the motive?
Okay.
All that glitters.
That's tough. That's close. I feel like a better pilot would have probably navigated through that one. It's not a deck I'm super familiar with playing against. But it is one of the downsides to playing these decks that don't have any interactivity to it, right? Feels a little bit better playing the Ezreal Caitlyn in there because you know that if like, okay, well, I have a way to kill Twisted Fate. As to where with the Aphelios Fizz, your best thing is you can hit him with a Hush, you can hit him with a Pokey Stick, and that's where things kind of end. But we'll take the same Mulligan strategy here. We want to find we want to find our Feyfolk, or not the Feyfolk. What do you call it? The Gleaming Lantern. So we found a Face Sprout, gives us a potential way to pick it up. We'll face Sprout on turn 2 just to see what happens. But the way it went in like the previous game is the way you kind of want this to happen, is to where you get to bank on the second turn, protect with a Pale Cascade or with a Guiding Touch, and then drop all your stuff on the third turn. So we'll see. If we miss on the Lantern, then we at least have some options. We missed. I think we just want to take the Rainbow Fish here against this Viego deck. It's going to take quite a bit of time to get going, since we don't have the cheapening capabilities on the board, but we'll manage. Let's just start with Owlcat and see what happens. I would like to get the Assistant Librarian down, but I want it to be safe when we go for it. You got anything useful? Got a Face Sprout? Okay. We can keep on digging. Keep looking for our Lantern. I'd like to just bank through this turn if we can. Like if we'll play the Face Sprout. If we hit the Lantern, great, and if we don't, then we'll just have to kind of pick a different path here. Just try and keep our health high. This is a block like I would never make in Magic because your health total tends to just stay so high. But here, I think it's okay. I want to be out of atrocity range if we can. See if he's got a Vengeance. Piercing Darkness, same thing. We couldn't have protected through it. Okay, well, let's get the party started. Slowly but surely, we'll churn through here. Just a little bit at a time. Okay. It's not the end of the world, but that's pretty unfortunate.
Our ancestors are watching.
This guy's just had us at every turn. Playing Sharp Sights in the Viego deck, playing the Flash of Brilliance, and just hitting Assembly Worker. It's like give me some of the good randoms, please. We are able to drop a Winding Light next turn. I would like to just fill out the board as much as we can. My only concern with this turn is if he's able to Vile Feast our Fizz. Now, with him playing a deck that has Sharp Sight in it, I don't feel like this guy's playing Vile Feast. So we'll let that one go and then just move on. Where are you at? Follower, please. So we can go for Fizz now. Next turn we can summon a follower, and then we can do the Winding Light. See where that gets us. It's a little bit worrisome with this Lux on the board, but like his angle should be something like Remembrance would be the big play coming out of Demacia. I don't care if he plays Vengeance. Well, it's kind of awkward if he has Vengeance, but I think it's okay. It's like he's thinking about a Vengeance. Say, I get the darkness. Give me the darknesses, please. Oh. Vengeance is much worse now. If he was going to play it, he should have played it when it was on the stack. So he could Piercing Darkness something. Ooh, no spells. Wow. Okay, here comes the squad. We're not going to win the game this turn. Lux is going to get a good block somewhere. But really wears out his board. Get him for 9, kill all of their units except Lux. We only lose our supporting cast, if you will. Okay. I'm on board. Gets us much closer to this finish with Elusive Fizz plus a Rainbow Fish on something. There's a Remembrance. Not a big one, though. Doesn't get those luck spells popping off. He is playing Vile Feast. Strange. It's got everything in here. Now, I guess, like, do we have to worry about atrocities now? Is this something that's going to be in his wheelhouse, as having atrocity? Seems too greedy to not play around it.
Got the book. Let's start our search.
Now, Viego. Of course. I don't really know what else you're supposed to say. All right. Rainbow Fish gets our unit big enough to take Viego down. So that's where we'll start. Yep. So this will take his Viego to 1. Okay. And he can try and Final Spark our Fizz. We're not going to let that happen. Well, we can take the Lantern. It at least lets us cheapen up things next turn. I was really hoping for a Papercraft Dragon. Okay, so we add Lantern. We'll add a Rainbow Fish after this. See where that gets us. Feels like there's about to be an incoming Vengeance, but we don't have the tools to play around it. 3, 7. Let's see. This can get us to lethal with Pale Cascade. Yep. Okay. Close is he? Only 4. Alright. So it's like I don't really want to replay the Rainbow Fish here. I think we're just stuck with like a Darkness onto Viego. And then we can try and attack with Fizz, and we at least have a little bit of protection. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's the way the day is going to be, huh? Alright, so we'll get this Fizz chunk in. We have a Hush for Viego next turn. We may end up just blocking him, but we can stop a reasonable chunk of this damage. And we'll try to get more fish going, I guess. get more of these Rainbow Fish out there somewhere. Okay. I'm okay with it if his angle is just to replay another Viego. That's not that big of a deal. Let's drop the fish while we can. Get that cheapening action happening. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop Chum the Waters. I want to be able to open with the second rainbow fish. Should have played these fish in the other order, right? It would be much nicer to have a 6 mana. Gotta be kidding me. Okay. Sure. I mean, at least... Oh, he puts the spark onto the long tooth. Okay. Down to 2 cards. I mean, we're pretty close to just doing the required stuff here. Owlcat's going to be our fish target. Seems like he wasn't so worried about our lantern. It was very odd that he chose to take down the other thing, whatever it was called. He saved the vengeance for this turn. See if we can't find a pokey stick or a conchologist. Doesn't turn up. Okay. We're still, like, reasonably safe next turn. We'll have a Hush for the Hydrovine if we need to block it. And we can hopefully survive out this other turn. We have the Guiding Touch to gain a bit of health if we need to. Alright. Do we want to go ahead and just, like, Calibrum down this Spiderling? Just to make sure it's dealt with and done? Yeah. We could have won last turn if we'd just gone for it. We'd have dropped the we'd have hit the second Pale Cascade. Standard. Pretty standard at this point. Okay. Where is our Hush?
You cannot hold us down.
Right, we have to block like this. He gets to keep Viego, that's fine. This is for 5. Okay. Alright, so we have the rainbow fish in hand. I would feel a little bit better if we had it protected. So let's just pass. Okay. It's like I want to be able to like play a unit, rainbow fish it, see if he has an answer. Well, we drew a unit, that's for certain. Just not big enough to carry through this. You know, I guess he is technically big enough, right? We can Dusk Petal, Winding Light. we have the vulnerable onto Lux, and so we can do it like this. And then should we need it, we have a Pale Cascade. So if he has, say, a Vengeance, wouldn't be surprised. He's had everything else this game. Then we still have a way to punch through. Jesus fuck, what a game. It feels good when they literally have it all at every corner and you're still able to pull it down. Jesus Christ. Alright. Good work, Aphelios, Fizz. Making us work for it. That's what makes the games great, man. If you don't want to have games with RNG, go play chess. I gotta quit talking trash on chess. I think chess is a great game. I just like that. I like that meme factor. I was even thinking the other day. It's like, what did you do on your Friday night? And it was like, well, I sat around and played a bunch of Path of Champions. And it's like, well, that's fairly similar to just sitting around and playing chess by yourself. And so I gotta let it slide. But all right, what are we up against here? There is Pantheon Yuumi Galio, which I think we're going to ban. I don't want to deal with the Pantheon deck. There is Jace Lux, which we saw earlier. Again, that's not great for a handful of our matchups, but it's got to be better than the Pantheon matchup. And then this Pirates, not Pirates, this is a Gangplank warning shot kind of deck, which I think we're kind of okay to deal with, especially if we get to keep the Fizz deck around. All right, and we'll run. Do we want to run Ezreal Caitlyn first? Like, we probably just have to play it twice. I feel pretty uncomfortable playing this deck. We're just out here running it. We're running it for the skins. So maybe we'll at least draw Caitlyn this game. All right, something like this should be okay. No Tribeam start, but a double unit along with a removal spell. A lot of beams. I mean, it's not the worst having a beam for their turn 1 play. It gives you a little bit of opportunity to shut down their deal 5 damage level up kind of thing. Yep. It's one of those days, as they say. Parlay, sure. All right, that at least makes up for it a little bit, right? If he's gonna hit the 2-4, he's destined to hit the 0-1. I think these blocks are okay. This again, it shuts him down from getting a tick up. Like it is nice sometimes to be a little bit greedy when you have the static shocks in your hand, but I think getting to prevent that thing and keeping Gangplank and Sejuani for leveling up a turn, just worth it. Now we got, look at this. She says, "Give me the laser beam sniper rifle. That's what I need. Blow them up with these laser beams. Get in here. Let's enjoy." Scary stuff, right? Scary stuff. Let's investigate, Caitlyn. All right, now it's like we do have an opportunity to play a 3-mana Thermogenic Beam right now, which is incredibly relevant with the Improbulator in hand. I think I'm okay with it. If he goes into next turn and just plays Gangplank, then we do have the second beam to try and take him down. But I want to get this up to like 5 and 6 so it's able to be our backup way to take down Sejuani or take down Gangplank. Okay. That seems positive. Okay. As as he paused, I was curious to should we have stopped and actually blocked that thing? in the event that he had like Fury of the North or something weird. Maybe. Got an Archivist, not a great set of cards. The Mystic Shot will have to do.
You have something on that case.
Let's go ahead and Mystic Shot the Monkey Idol. Do we still feel that way? I mean, it's actually not a horrible static shock. Like, dealing a point of damage to the Monkey Idol to take it down a point feels pretty decent, but I want to Mystic Shot this turn. Y'all remember when Gangplank had 5 health? He was too good. Too good for Runeterra. Alright, what's he at? He'll be up to 3 now. 3 tick-ups with the things happening. Whatever these are called.
It doesn't add up.
Alright, we'll commit to it. You're still not flipped? You'll be flipped soon.
Or you miss me.
Another 3 damage beam. Get our big Tribeam happening here. Get a nice 8 cost unit. Does it roll up on play or on, yeah, 7 coster?
Neither the flames nor the depths can claim me.
Okay. And man, I keep seeing all these things pop off, and I just expect it to be our flashbang traps. It's certainly not the case. Could give our bros barrier today. Get some of those double attacks buried in the ice. Okay. Do we actually have to save this? We probably do. If he has like a Sejuani next turn, we have to be able to Mystic Shot plus Scorched Earth. We can't just Mystic Shot this this Crack Shot Corsair. Can't do it. I mean, we've got him worn down and our health total's pretty high. I feel reasonably safe here. Okay. This is for like 5.
Hot on the trail.
Interesting open. All right. Little scary. At least we have the Scorched Earths to keep him from blowing up the Frozen Tombs. That's kind of nice. Well, I apparently spoke too soon. I think he hit the one with the big unit in it. He didn't hit the one with Ezreal. Finally hit one. Jesus, he's had these 1 health units sitting around the whole game. Yeah. Let's see if we can beat this. The Sejuani's the scary thing here. We need to get like if he's able to hit our team with the AoEs, the AoE whatever, that's just too much problem. Okay. Not ideal. But I guess at least our win out of this one is he hit Misfortune on the Field of Rush.
We'll crack this yet.
Scoping the area.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Alright, he's got 1 card left. We're certainly ahead at this point, but, I mean, who's to say that 1 card left isn't another Field of Rush, so... Let's see, I guess. Well, I can't feel the rush until next turn. That's at least positive. Little scary not seeing a draw come up off of the Dreadway. So he either just doesn't have any more Gangplanks, or he's got one in hand. The card in hand should be out of our deck, though, right? Oh, we messed that up. I thought we were going to survive that. Okay. So what can we do with this turn? I kind of feel like we have to save the sentry for next turn. Maybe not. I mean, we're not winning the game anytime soon without getting this damage in. Like, we would have been okay if our Ezreal was alive, but it's a little tough here. Yeah. All right. Well, this is one of these spaces where you're like, well, I've got Captain Farron in my deck. Maybe that'll be good enough one day. Maybe. Maybe. Sure. All right. Well, that wasn't what I was expecting. It's such a weird collection of decks we've run up against today. I was expecting that to be more along the lines of a really like aggressive-y turbo level up my Gangplank kind of thing. That's what you usually see out of those. I wasn't expecting there to be a bunch of Feel the Rushes and Buried in the Ice kind of cards coming out of that. Interesting. All right, what you got for us, game? I'm not amped about any of this. It's like I don't even think House Spider's that great here. I think we want to just mulligan for Tribeams, and we want to find Caitlyn. You could technically run Ezreal out early, but it seems a little scary. Did pick up a Tribeam. Okay. I feel a little naked without the fanciers. I'm used to playing the fanciers in every Piltover deck. What's his answer to Ezreal here? Just a thermogenic beam? I think that's okay. We're the aggro in this matchup. We have to be coming in and getting something going. 2 cards is fine. We could try and get the kills with the second Ezreal, but it's kind of nice in 2 ways. It takes the spells away from him from Lux. Now he has to kind of redraw that shitty removal spell. But the downsides, we don't really have anything to do. We can always whispered words, but we need to be the ones on board and attacking. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that would take the thermogenic beam. The count at 5 because we have 5 mana here? Interesting. I wasn't aware that was a thing. Okay. It was like, I just immediately envisioned the Tribeam going away. I was like, oh no. We are so screwed.
There's nothing a little ingenuity can't fix.
All right, we have the answers to Jace. That's not a big problem at the moment.
Do I have to? You never.
So that sequence feels decent. Now we can get our Caitlyn on board. It's like how many
Not by a long shot.
of those like cycle cards could they actually be playing? Like that 2/3 that does the cycling, attacks our Tribeam. Okay. Rip Caitlyn. You tried. You tried, girl.
Remember, we're the ones who make progress happen.
You dropped something.
There it goes.
Dropped everything.
Damn. All right. Make some sad noises. I mean, I don't. It feels bad. I don't know. Is it better that it's not hitting Captain Farron? I'm not entirely sure. Need a little bit more action to get this Ezreal flip.
Justice will be served.
So we should be safe from a shock blast at this point. I think this is fine.
See all of it. One shot, all skill.
Well, if he had it, probably would have opened with it, right? Maybe. Perhaps.
They don't know what they're up against.
Can't imagine if he had like any kind of answer to Ezreal that he would have just sat on it.
Charge. Oh, it's you. I mean, hey.
Sorry. Did I know you?
I guess Lux can be considered an answer to Ezreal. But let's spew off all these spells as much as we can.
You will be scoured from this land.
Interesting.
A missing piece? Pushing my limits.
There's the spell. Well, we can still deal with some of this stuff before Ezreal goes away. I think we can look to play both Scorched Earth and Ravenous Flock. Just to chunk in those damages. Okay. Take him to 7. God, it feels so far away when your only burn spells are like mystic shots. Ugh. All right. All right. That's the way we're taking it. Got to get in for 2 damage.
Mafia's name.
Is this stuff today? Captain Erika.
Well, what have we here?
Okay. All right, getting close, getting close. The Mystic Shot, Static Shock. There it is. That took a lot of work. Alright, GG. Let's see what the Fizz can do. It's just those premium skins that took those games down for us. I think that was a premium Captain Erika that we saw there at the end, though. Happens. People are learning. People are getting the memo about the pay-to-win lifestyle. What do we got here? Again, I want to find face sprouts. I want to find gleaming lanterns. None of that's here. I think we just full mulligan all of this. Got a lantern, bro.
Remember, we're the ones who make progress happen.
Okay, we'll trade. We're not letting him just sit around and gain mana all game. It wasn't a positive trade, Fizz. What are you doing, dog? That's not the way it's supposed to be. Follow the moon mud. Alright, what you got for us? Lantern number 2? That feels pretty good. We would be passing up on Papercraft Dragon, but I think this is okay. Or do we just chunk for it here? It's like, he was playing Captain Erika, but his early game removals don't feel like they lined up too well with this. It's just like, if we don't have the lantern, then our Papercraft Dragon and our Rainbow Fish are just so expensive to play for the rest of the game. Alright, let's risk it. Take me to that land of all inery.
We made it. Yay.
Okay, it does suck to lose the Rainbow Fish, but feels like our lantern is pretty safe for the time being. Can try and get him built up to Aphelios overwhelms.
Let the light guide you.
God for us. Is any of this interesting? Fey Aid for the Outcats isn't the worst. We have one actual Fey in our hand. I could see an argument for picking up Tellstones just for the Keeper's Verdict onto Lux, but I don't think I'm really excited about that. But neither the Fey Aid or the Yordle Portal feel that great here.
Wondrous discoveries await below.
The brighter my light, the stronger your shadow.
Okay, bunch of spells, don't care. You tried hard, Aphelios. You tried hard. Alright, so where are we at now? I think we can just start with the Owlcat because it's free. Probably not going to get much usage out of it here, but I would still like to play this turn a little slow if we can. He banks up his mana. Interesting. So let's add Fizz. I'm going to Infernum the Gleaming Lantern. If he just keeps passing, then let's go full board on him. How bad could whatever he has be? And then do we ever just go... Like, I think we just pass on the Infernum now. We can get the Heroic Refrain if we need it. I think that might be a surprising boom to come at him. Let's Trinket Trade so that we get the Elusive onto Fizz. Star Chart's fine.
Lunari, rise.
To the world below.
Bring it. He's up to some kind of shenanigans. Is this just a barrier onto the Gleaming Lantern? Back to back. Okay. We can kill Lux through back to back. Where is our card? Give me my card. Would we rather just hush her? and then save the Bandle Tailstones for another turn. I think I like that. She just has 6 health naturally. We have to play the Hush anyways. +2 attack isn't enough. Okay. That didn't do what he wanted. Then we're in a pretty decent spot, even if that had worked. If we lose out on the Gleaming Lantern, we do get to pick up the Papercraft Dragon and then just put it on Fizz.
He's lucky to have me, in my opinion.
What you got? These cards aren't great. I guess the Serpent's probably our best choice. Just take something out of combat.
Look, a thing.
L, that's not ours.
There we go. There we go. Dragging it up, Fizz. Enjoy, enjoy the bonuses. So we lost our Overwhelm fragment, but I think that's okay. Take the Faithful, not letting him have the chance to play a slow spell. Captain Erika, whatever it is this guy wants to do. We're saying no.
No more hiding.
And we do have the Tailstones in hand, so if he tries to get overly clever on this board, we have some stuff to do.
One jump ahead of you. Can't catch me.
Okay, we could have just let that happen and gone for the Pokey Stick to face, but I think this should be safe enough. We got him. GG. Good job, team. It's those skins coming out, I'm telling you. The ocean wins again. All right. Final battle time. Let's see if we can do it. So what do we got here? Got Tahm Kench Soraka, okay. The Blade Dance deck, which I don't know how the matchups actually are for it. That's one of those decks to where it's just like super polarized. I know it's good against like fairies, or not fairies, where am I going? It's good against like the Sun Disc style decks. It's like I worry if we have to run like Ezreal Caitlyn into it, how bad that is. Like I feel okay with both Aphelios, Fizz, and Akshan Sivir against Soraka Tahm Kench. I think we have the tools to manage that. Yeah, I think we take out the Blade Dance deck. Tokens, whatever we're calling it. It's weird seeing Zoe with dragons. Not entirely sure what that's supposed to mean. Alright. They only let us play Akshan Sivir one time today. That's so strange to me. I thought that Akshan Sivir would be the one that we were playing every time. It did its magic in that one game. we got the Pulsefire action on board, and he did his thing. But man, not what I really expected. Okay, I think a hand like this is probably reasonable against dragons. Maybe we should get rid of the Sentry, but I want to hang on to the Tribeam and the Caitlyn. Just look for like a Mystic Shot or a cheaper bit of interactivity. House Spider, Mystic Shot, sure. Depending on what he does, it's like I'm not going to play House Spider. I want to have I want to have Caitlyn next turn, and then if he plays something that can, defend against Caitlyn, I want to be able to Mystic Shot to give her the kind of bonus attack in combat, but that's not how this is sequenced, and that's okay. Still going to drop Caitlyn here. She's a big fan of dropping flashbangs onto Zoe.
Well, what have we here?
It'd be pretty tough to have a good interactive unit. There are some like 3/4s. You'd be playing Ruined Dragon Guard or something, but I don't think that feels ultra likely in this space. And we can now protect Caitlyn with the Mystic Shots. Protect her with the everything. So let's just do it. Get him done. Get him dead. Get him out of here. He's gonna sharp sight onto the Zoe again. I mean, that feels like a win for us as we're trying to get onto this Ezreal plan, but huh. All right. Dragon Egg. Interesting. I don't think I'm quite ready for Ezreal. Let's just get the standard attack in. We can play the House Spider and bank. We have it's kind of like an awkward space here to where he doesn't have much board. We're getting kind of built up to these Tribeams, but then he's also playing Aurelion Soul, and so it's like we're the control deck until like the very very end.
Never again will we fall to dragon fire.
Let's let him make combat. And so if he tries to make a bad hook onto Caitlyn, then we could, like, if he tried to hook Caitlyn with Lieutenant, we could protect through it. Not the case here, but I think this is fine. Sure. Let us potentially take down the stronger unit now. And do we want to go ahead and Tribeam? We're going to now, but it's like I want to get Ezreal down, but I don't want him to die to a single combat from this Dragon Guard Lieutenant. Drop the first Tribeam. Doesn't feel great. I wish this was a like 7, but you'll get the job done. Now Ezreal is flipped. Why does he have so many more cards than us?
The strength of the sun and my faith are one.
Interesting.
Watch and learn. Behold my work.
Sure. Okay. Weird. This is like so many collection of cards I did not expect to see today. Drops a Dragon Chow, huh? It's our big boy in Captain Farron. He's ready to party, but I assume this means he's about to like drop a Shyvana.
Ready weapons.
Oh, you wearing?
Why would you play the Dragon Chow and then not do anything? That's so strange. But okay. 2 cards in hand. I don't... he played that dragon thing, and then the only dragon he's played after that was the Screeching Dragon. I'm like fairly confident that this is an Aurelion Soul in his hand. Not sure how we're gonna deal with that, but like what other dragons? I mean, that was a Screeching. I didn't see which direction that came out of his hand, but I ultimately feel like we're about to get hit by Aurelion Soul next turn. Okay. Dropping them low. As Lil Jon would say, from the window to the wall, as the sweat drips down my balls. Oh, skeet skeet, motherfucker. Oh, skeet skeet, goddamn. Get low. That's where that was going. Get low is the that's the song. I assume everyone's familiar with that, right? Say, oh, skeet skeet, motherfucker. Oh, skeet skeet, goddamn. Get low. He's a wordsmith, a master of his craft. Interesting. Where's that heal going? Is he healing the dragon? I'm ultimately not too worried about the dragon. I want to get this. I want to get this Radiant off of the board. Very strange. He of course has a giant Celestial in his hand now. He's got, of course, got 2 giant Celestials in his hand now. But man, if he drew 2 Screeching Dragons off of that. No, you have to draw dragons of different names. It's so weird. He hasn't just dropped Aurelion Soul. Alright, here comes the open. It'd be really cool if he just took 8 and let us kill him with Decimate. Nah, come on, dude. Okay. I'm trying to tell you the cool plays, dude, and just not doing it, not having it. At least we get to see the new Caitlyn animation doing the sniper acrobatics. 360 no scope in this this Aurelion Soul for us. Alright, let's see where that gets us. I assume that we're probably just dead at this point, but if we pick up a Captain Farron or something, we might still be able to burn him out. We hit like 4 traps off of Caitlyn, get a surprise strike in. You never know. There's a damage ready to come at you. Okay. Let's see where we can get. Hit some traps. Get in for some damages. You never know. Lucky find. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. For the Overwhelm. Do we want Overwhelm? Or do we want Quick Attack? Like, if we give him Overwhelm, like, he's just gonna block with his 9/8 anyways, and we're not gonna get any damage in. Let's take quick attack. Maybe it does something. It's the free kill on the Great Beyond or something. Maybe. Maybe we can do it here, boys. Maybe. One time? No. One time? 2 times? 3 times? Not feeling real confident about this, but we're really close to the lethal, right? He has to give up both of his, assuming he just has a handful of like Celestials and Dragons and stuff, right? Apparently that's not the case here, but this is an interesting block. If he's gonna have like a single combat, why isn't he? Oh, he's got the free thing. Okay. So we get in for 5. This Dum-Dum's gonna be dead. Could still potentially level up Aurelion Soul this turn. Man, that would have been a reason I didn't stop to consider that. If he has a single combat and he shrinks his unit, he would have just flipped to doing this the other way though, right? He would have just put the Great Beyond in front of our 5/3 and then single combated down our overwhelming Captain Farron.
The dragon's rage claws to get out.
All right. We could still do stuff like draw a Static Shock and then draw a Mystic Shot. We can hit a trap with Caitlyn and get a Mystic Shot or something. Oh, Caitlyn's dead. We got a couple of outs here. I assume that we're just dead though. There's the trap. Scorched Earth is always interesting. Can't counterspell that. He's got the Celestials beholden. All right, damn. So strange. Like you're used to just being like the control deck, but when they have Aurelion Soul, there's not, you know, there's no better top end than him or it, they. So. Whew. All right, let's try this one again against Tom Kench. See how he holds up if you just don't put any units on the board. All right, we got Caitlyn. Don't think we want the Scorched Earth. Don't think we want the Beam. Just go ahead and try and search up a Tribeam. Not a lot of good like removal targets in this deck. They're gonna play some of these like early game dudes, like the heal bros, like the self-damaging kind of things. But I don't think it's like too much that we're gonna get interacting with. Oh, nice. Second Tribeam.
Well, what have we here?
What have we here, Caitlyn? Sure. Excuse me? What? You just it just doesn't hook her down? Interesting. All right, we can interact now. We got a Tribeam ready for this, so or a Peacemaker. So when he comes in and plays his heal, I guess he could play like Astral Thing, which would be kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So we lose Caitlyn, that's fine. And we could just switch to Scorched Earthing this thing. Should be tough for him to heal 3. He can heal 2 from this point, but 3 is kind of tough to do. Right, if there's playing like Guiding Lights. Wonder if it could potentially be unfortunate to not like save the Scorched Earth for a Tom Kench or a higher valued unit, but it's starting to be kind of a scary dude.
so brilliantly.
Okay. Astral Protection will get him out of this, but that would be the second one he's had to use. Sure. Leaves him fairly vulnerable at this point.
We look after our own.
Caring for the stars.
Alright, well that vulnerability has faded.
Even when they're all grown up.
Second protection is brutal. Oh, I forgot. Soraka doesn't heal into full though. It's not as scary then. I just assumed that she was taking him to the promised land of of infinite health. All right, let's give it another try.
I feel better when the possibilities
Okay.
are infinite.
More tricks and more tricks? Sure. So this will take him to 1. But then it's starting to swing back to our turn. We'll have to do something about this Star Shepherd eventually. That's that's getting to be the more intimidating unit now. Let's see where this gets us. Won't be surprised to see him heal out of this one, but we need to try and take down the Star Shepherd now.
I will
Another one,
find
sure.
goodness in you, River King.
Hope only provides temporary sustenance, child.
4 damage Tribeam coming in. So he's like already played 1 Pale Cascade. There's not too much combat tricky stuff kind of left you can protect these units with. Interesting hitting the Navigator. I assume that's just going to get eaten by the Tahm Kench. Then we have to worry about the Star Spring. We do play, Scorched Earths. We've already played 1. And so we're not ultra likely to pick up an additional one. Looks like he's starting to go onto the heal plan instead of trying to win through combat, which isn't too surprising.
I know.
Yep.
With purpose.
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
Where there's a will, there's a mill. That's the ultimate problem that we're running into here is trying to get Ezreal going. But now that he's played Acquired Taste, we could technically go for it. We do have 2 Ezreals at this point anyways. How involved do we want to get in trying to kill Soraka, though? She's like, this attack, he's only healing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It's not a gigantic heal. It's a little worrisome, though, if he gets to drop a second vulnerable card. But his champions can't kill Ezreal. Okay. Let's go for it.
Be at peace.
Let us reconnoiter.
Alright, so a bunch of healing stuff happens. Star Spring goes up to 7. Not ultra scared, not blocking Soraka, not blocking this dum-dum. Can Mystic Shot this guy and flip our Ezreal. And then we'll see where that gets us. We've got our Tribeam up to 5. We need to do some digging, let's just see what turns up. More Ezreals, no Scorched Earths. Right, now he's going to be able to Tom Kench the Ezreal. Which, I mean, not that bad.
But if my eyes are closed, what am I missing?
We have more Ezreals in hand.
Appetizers aplenty.
Static Shocks aplenty.
It's not bragging if you can back it up.
Ugh. Gotta find that. We're gonna lose to Star Spring. We have to try and find the like I think we can survive this damage. I think we just have to try and find the Scorched Earth. No, there's no way we're beating the Star Spring. All right, everybody's going for it. Let's be all in on this dum-dum. Oh, that gives him the bonus attack. All right, we're dead. This is done. Man, that's tough. Like that's a matchup. I don't feel like it should be bad, but I'm not very familiar with the Ezreal deck, and I'm also, I mean, I haven't played against that deck in like 18 months, and so like I'm curious though if it even turns up. Like, where do you get to go? You go to the archetypes. Yeah, it's like Soraka doesn't even turn up on the on the matchup table, and so yeah, like I'm ultimately I'm not super sure like how that matchup. I mean, maybe that's the deck we should have just ended up banning. I don't remember what his other options were. It was some Pantheon deck, but maybe that was just like too tough of a world for Ezreal Caitlyn to have to deal with. Like seeing Aurelion Soul is pretty brutal. I know the Pantheon matchup is not great, and then having to deal with Soraka there at the end, that was so odd. But at the end of the day, like again, I don't like to call this like a complaint about the format. I know that a lot of people really love this about Runeterra, but it's like you can see the common decks, like right, you can go to meta, you can sort by matches. It's a little bit tougher to see here. You can go back to Balco's site. I think he shows the percentages on his like meta tier list. Right? Is that how we're good? So yeah, in the past 7 days, right, in the Platinum Plus, the most played deck is Lysandra Talia at 8% of the meta, and it's just one of those things to where again you can't like you can't develop too much with the intent of playing against certain decks because they just don't show up with enough frequency. And again, it's so weird to me that this game has such a diverse meta as to where even like once you get out of the top 5 decks, right, out of these A tier decks, like you have 6 decks up at the top, and then the next most common deck is like 2.5% of the meta. And you can roll some of that up into like overlapping decks. Like you can start to call like Jarvan Alawi and then Alawi on her own or whatever. Like all the Alawi decks you can kind of basically call the same thing because they're all essentially doing the same thing. But it just makes it like so tough to actually, build a lineup or even like edit your decks to have these kind of things in mind because you just don't play them with enough frequency. And so there's an argument to both sides of the coin, right? If you don't want to play against the same kind of decks over and over again, then it is kind of nice. But if you're looking to do some kind of like brewing or preparing for the meta or getting ahead of the meta or preparing for tournaments, it's very tough to do just because the play rate on these decks is so low and things are so wide and so varied. And so, I don't know, it's not a complete complaint, but as we kind of like expected with this one, and more so in the previous video, to where we were expecting, to like kind of the anti-Pantheon-ish strategies, if you will. If Pantheon's not there, you can kind of ban Alawi. If neither of those turn up, then you can ban Talia or Lysandra. But, even if you're like, you have a lineup set up to this, right, as to where, okay, I'm going to ban Lysandra Talia, and then I'm going to play a lineup that's good against the Disintegrate decks, right? That's what you kind of see up here at the top, is Talia Lysandra is the most played deck, and then kind of one of the ways to combat Talia Lysandra is through Disintegrates, and that's where you're seeing the Noxus-based decks up there at the top, and you just don't play things with enough frequency for that to ever work out. It's like, you would have to go 10, 12 matches before you played Lysandra Talia once. Is it really worth letting that deck be a part of your meta decision? And so, like, I'm not like too into it with this lineup. We were playing this one for the memes. We did get all the Pulsefire champions down. We did flip 2 of the 3. We didn't get too much going with Aphelios, but if you are trying to be into the more competitive aspects of this, it's a really tough place to actually be in, I think. And so some people like it, some people don't. I'm kind of in the middle, but it's definitely one of those strange things to run into. Like, again, I can't remember the last time I played against Soraka. So any kind of Soraka Tahm Kench deck, and I just assume that it's probably pretty terrible on the ladder as it is. And so it's strange. Got the best of us, though, that's for certain. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You found your Pulsefire a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.